Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna do Defenders Volume 2, issue number 9 from Marvel Comics. And cover by Ron Frenz. Art is also by Ron Frenz. Ron Frenz is a really good artist. I like his style a lot. He did a lot of 4 and other comics as well. As you can see here by his signature. So without further ado, let's dive in because this is a fun one. So it starts back in the far back in time. All right, when man was primitive, there was some kind of a monster invading Earth, or he was coming from the stars, and there was legends and religions surrounding this monster, and he's been stopped by. Well, I'm pretty sure this is Ulysses Bloodstone, if I remember, because Ulysses Bloodstone, he has also a daughter. I forgot her name. Bloodstone, but the Bloodstone was, in the 80s and the 90s was very prevalent in comics. There was stories around that, also including Hulk and others as well. Yeah, maybe we're gonna tackle that one. Who knows? But anyway, he drove the monster back, and and that was a rumor because this guy is now reading some kind of a newspaper, and we see floating cities and things that comes to life, etc. And it's none other than the Headmen. They have or will be conquering the world, as seen as, well, hinted in the last issue. Anyway, so Negan here is very proud, and because they want to basically revive the monster. They have found a signature that the monster, Orgo, is here. And Ruby has, I believe it's Ruby Tuesday. It has some kind of a thingy that locates this monster, and they have a device, or a better yet, how do you say a stone? This is the Star of Capistan, or Capistan, with a with this idol, and this was when we saw the Headmen a couple of issues back. Then they went to a museum and they stole this thing. And with that, the star embedded in this stone idol, we see some, things awakening. And then we see Kyle Rickmond. This is a classic pose, by the way. I'm 100% sure this is, homage or traced, I'm not entirely sure, from the original Defenders, because there was an exact same, scene here with Kyle coming down with the same pose. It's everywhere the same. So, and he's meeting with Valkyrie and Hellcat, and they are, moving because, they want to have their place to themselves. Although, Kyle says, "Hey, still don't get why you moved out in the first place. You both could have stayed at my place as long as you liked." Well, there's reasons for that. They want to have their own place, and Valkyrie, the new Valkyrie, wants to know more about themselves, and she thinks that this place is the place that she can learn that. Also, it seems that Patsy here has also, made a book, and it's very popular, and she talks about her past a little bit, that, she doesn't mind that people know her, right? Also being a Hellcat, because the book was something like she was in hell, because she was married to Damien Hellstrom. And what I didn't know, back in the day, but now I do, that she talks about that she was in the, public eye for a very, very long time before she was turned into Hellcat. It seems, and that is for real, by the way, there was Patsy Walker comics. Those were mostly girl comics. I'm not sure they were from DC or from another company. And they sold like hotcakes, it seems. There's a lot. I Googled that. I said, oh, I didn't know that. And that was before DC Comics acquired this character and turned her into Hellcat and all that stuff, which was interesting. So this is a nice throwback from, 70s comics, or even 60s. I'm not entirely sure. When Patsy was actually featured in girl comics. Interesting. And fun. Anyway, I didn't read it, by the way. Meanwhile, we see this guy coming home, and he says, "Hey, honey, I'm home. He also has a Flash t-shirt, which is weird because this is a Marvel comic. But hey, nice homage, I guess. And he's then getting shot in the face by this, well, whoever this is, will be probably seen in future comics. Although I'm a little bit hesitant because as far as I know, there's only 12 issues. So I'm not sure it's going to have that payoff. We will see. Anyway, so Patsy and Hellcat. Yeah, Patsy and Kyle and Valkyrie are walking, and they still talk about what happened with her, her being a celebrity. But Kyle has some thoughts about hey, he's thinking about Doctor Strange and the rest of the Defenders, being cursed and all that stuff. He's worried about that. But Patsy says, hey, Kyle, don't worry. It's going to be all right. Meanwhile, in the meantime, Patsy is getting surrounded by all her fans because, of the book, and they want to have, signatures. And it seems that Valkyrie remembers. She remembers the streets, right? And Kyle says, hey, I never bought girl comics or anything like that when I was a kid. I really had no idea Patsy was such a big deal. And can you believe there was actually Patsy Walker dolls? But then she's being distracted. She says, I agree. It's most strange. People should be respected for their deeds, not for appearing in mere entertainment. But then this guy walks up to Valkyrie and says, hey, Sam. Oh, I'm sorry. I for a minute, I thought you were someone else. And then she remembers that her name might be Samantha Parrington. Maybe. All right? And then this guy comes up and says, Patricia Walker? Yeah? And he puts out a gun. And she transforms because she has now demonic powers on something. And some kind of a demonic senses like spider sense. Lashes out to him. And of course, because of Dragon Fang appearing, from the sheath of Valkyrie, she, transformed into the Valkyrie, and it's none other than A.I.M. And I thought, wait a minute, what does A.I.M. doing in the Defenders book, right? Because there are highly advanced scientists and such. I believe it's advanced idea mechanics, if I remember correctly. That's the short of A.I.M. And they are, attacking the Defenders, right? And it actually looks great. I like the kinetic impact and all the science stuff, like an Omni-Wave blaster and these guys flying through the air. Really cool. I like that a lot. I think this art is better than Erik Larsen's. Erik Larsen's is cool. Art is cool as well, but it's too cartoony for my taste. This looks more like that old school house-style art that I really like. Superman looks like Superman, and every artist needs to draw Superman as Superman and not in some kind of a cartoony way. And that's what called the house style. So if I look at Patsy and Hellcat and Valkyrie, she looks indeed like the Valkyrie from those Volume 1 comics. I really like that. Consistency. That besides the point. So because Nighthawk comes in, crashing the party for A.I.M, right? And but they are keep coming, and then oh no, they are being blocked, or there's some kind of a force field, and they're being janked up into the air into this giant ship, right? And they are being held hostage, none other than by MODOK. And again, what does MODOK has to do with all this, right? Because MODOK is not really a villain for the Defenders, and to be honest, except for, Valkyrie, the rest of these two are pretty low level. I mean, Nighthawk has only powers, super enhanced powers in the night. And she has, I don't know what kind of powers, but she's not really that strong. Anyway, so he's boasting, and he talks about that idol. And everyone that has touched the idol, as in contact with the idol, are dead, except for the Defenders. So still, okay, but what has the idol to do with MODOK and A.I.M? Well, it seems that Negan is now contacting MODOK, and he says, MODOK, we did it, we have succeeded, and succeeded spectacularly. We are returning to New York immediately and we initiate the next step. All right, so what happens then? So it seems that they have acquired Orgo and they basically conquered or will conquer this city. Is this New York, by the way? I guess. Greatest city on earth. Yeah, it must be New York, right? And so, of course, well, not of course, but of course, Patsy or Samantha, Samantha is breaking out because she's a goddess and she's way too strong, and they jump down from this ship. And don't you fall to your deaths? I mean, he can fly. I know you have super strength and all that stuff, but what is she gonna do, right? Still looks cool. I like the costumes, classic costumes, really cool. But then Orgo says, "You challenge me," and using his mental powers because he's Orgo, not Orko, the unconquerable. And they are falling down. So I think they're dead because their head is crashing into the pavement. So they're dead, broken bodies, brain smashed, broken necks. No, of course not. They're superheroes. And then Orgo goes all out. And he says, "None can withstand my mental powers. None can resist my might." And solid matter warped under his gaze. The police were even more helpless than we were. Then the cavalry arrived. Force, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four. And for a moment, I was elated. We were saved. With a glance of Orgo stopped them dead in their tracks, reshaping all of them to suit some twisted version. All we could do was watch in growing horror. All right. It's done. The world knows terror, unreasoning fear, and so the minds of all them are open to me, and Orko strikes. And just like that, the world was his, every mind, every heart, every soul under his complete mental control. Everyone, that is, except us. So they decide to do the right thing and, get the hell out of here before they're getting, turned to shreds by these zombies, right? And he said, "Okay, that was just plain screwed up. Shouldn't have something happened back there." "Yes, Hellcat, but I think I know why we were unaffected. It must be why A.I.M is eliminated as well. Anyone who has touched that stone island must be immune to Orgo's control, right?" Anyway, but Patsy has an idea why, but then they be in contact by Doctor Strange, because in the last issue they are on this alien planet. And he says, "Doc, where were you? Why didn't the curse bring you back here? Why couldn't you have saved us?" He says, "Hellcat, what? It's the Headmen. They have taken over the world." And that leads us to the next issue, guys, that we're going to do. So a couple of issues more and then the series ends. So I hope it's good. It's been a while since I've read this comic. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this series. Do you like it? I probably do a couple of volume 1s, Defenders. I like that. I don't have everything, but I have a lot. So we're going to continue with that. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.